Hey third graders, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to learn how to divide a two-digit number by a one-digit number with a remainder. Now we can get into this situation in class here quite often. We have 23 students in our class. If I tried to divide you into groups of two, we are going to end up with what is called a remainder. We can't make equal groups. We are going to have one extra person left over. Okay? So we can see this in real life. This happens in real life. Sometimes you divide things into a smaller group and you have some that are left over, and that will be called a remainder. Before we get started, I want you to grab a pencil and some scrap paper. You might need one or two sheets. We're going to go through quite a few examples in today's lesson. When we were dividing two-digit numbers using long division before, we said there were 4 steps to this. And there were a couple different ways that we could try to remember this. During math, someone burped, or did mom serve burgers? Okay, now the first step was to divide. The second step was to multiply. Third step was to subtract. And then the fourth step was to bring down. And then if we have more numbers to bring down, we want to, once we bring them down, we want to repeat. If we run out of numbers to bring down, then we are finished with the problem. Okay? Alright, so for the first problem, we are going to do 35 divided by 2. Now I would suggest probably watching the first 2 or 3 before you even write any on your paper. Okay, so my first step is to divide, and I need to divide the tens place first by 2. So 3 tens divided by 2. I could do that one time. Remember, if I try to do it 2 times, that won't work. Because my second step is multiply 2 times 2, that is 4. This number down here cannot be bigger than the number we are dividing. So 3 divided by 2. I can do that one time. Second step is to multiply. We're going to multiply 1 times the number we're dividing by. 1 times 2 is 2. Third step, subtract. 3 minus 2 equals 1. Fourth step, bring down. Now we have 15 divided by 2. I already know that this won't work because 15 is an odd number, and if we're dividing by 2, for that to work out, it has to be an even number here. Well, that's okay. It doesn't have to work out where we get to 0. We're going to get as close to 15 as we can by dividing by 2. So 15 divided by 2. Now, let's do 15 divided by 2 is 7. I know I can get really close by taking 7 times 2. 7 times 2 is 14. Okay? My third step, subtract. 15 minus 14 is 1. Now I don't have any more numbers here to bring down. Okay? So because of that, I have a remainder of 1. I have 1 left over after we have divided. So what I will do is write a lowercase r, and then I'm going to write 1 on top, just like that. Okay, so 35 divided by 2 is 17 with a remainder of 1. We can check that by doing 17 times 2. 7 times 2, that's 14. So write the 1 up here. 2 times 1 is 2. Plus 1 more is 3. And then we had a remainder of 1, so we would need to add in our remainder. So 34 plus 1 is 35. That matches our first number so we know we divided correctly. Example number 2. 98 divided by 3. Okay, so for this example, 9 divided by 3. 9 divided by 3, I can do that 3 times. Second step, multiply 3 times 3, that's 9. Third step, subtract 9 minus 9, that is 0. Fourth step, bring down the 8. Make sure you draw your arrow like that and write your 8 right below there. Alright, so I've got 8 divided by 3 next. Well, if I try 3 again, that won't work because I can't write a 9 here, that's too big. So I could do this 2 times. 8 divided by 3, I could do that 2 times. Now my second step is multiply 2 times 3, that is 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. We don't have any more numbers to bring down, so again we will write a lowercase r and a remainder of 2. Let's check that by multiplying and then we'll add the remainder in next. So 32 times 3. 3 times 2? 6. 3 times 3? 9. Plus 2 more is 98. My third example that I want you to watch is 75 divided by 2. So I want you to watch this one, and then once I'm done with this one, I'm going to write several problems on the board, and I'll have you hit pause, try those problems on your paper, and then I'll work through them after you come back. 7 divided by 2. I'm going to get as close to 7 as I can, and I think that'll be a 3. Next step, multiply 3 times 2, 6. 7 minus 6, that's my third step, that's 1. Bring down the 5. Okay, bring down the 5, now I repeat. 15 divided by 2. I could do that 7 times. Second step, multiply 7 times 2. 7 times 2, that would be 14. Third step is subtract 15 minus 14, and that is 1. And we don't have any more numbers to bring down, so we have a remainder of 1. And let's check that by doing 37 times 2. 37 times 2. 7 times 2. 14. 3 times 2. 6 plus 1. 7. And then we have to add in our remainder. 74 plus 1 is 75. Okay, next up I wrote 3 examples here. I want you to go through the steps of dividing, multiplying, subtracting, and bringing down, and find what your remainder is. So first one I want you to do is 53 divided by 3. The second one I want you to try is 93 divided by 4. And then 86 divided by 5. And then when you get done with each one of those, you should check those by multiplying and then adding the remainder to that, and making sure you get to this number, and this number here. Now would be a great time to work these problems out, and I want you to hit pause right now and then come back when you are ready. Good luck. Okay, welcome back. Let's work through 53 divided by 3. Follow along on your paper. See if your paper matches what I do on the board here. 5 divided by 3. I can do that 1 time. Second step, multiply 1 times 3. 3. Third step, subtract 5 minus 3, 2. Bring down the 3. Divide 23 divided by 3. 7. Let's do 7 times 3. 21. 23 minus 21. Well, that would be 2. 17 remainder 2. Check it by doing 17 times 3. Take this number times here. 7 times 3, 21. 3 times 1, 3, plus 2, 5. Add in my remainder, and that would be 53. And we're doing a lot of adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing all at the same time. Pretty exciting that we get to put all of those facts together, and you get a chance to put it to the test and make sure that you really do know those. You have to know those to be successful with these kinds of problems. Alright, next one, 93 divided by 4. 9 divided by 4. I could do that 2 times. Second part, 2 times 4 is 8. Third part, subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1. Bring down the 3. 13 divided by 4. Could do that 3 times. 3 times 4, that is 12. 13 minus 12 is 1. 23, remainder of 1. 23 times 4. 4 times 3. That's 12. 4 times 2, 8 plus 1 is 9, 92, and then we had a remainder of 1. We add that in. We get 93. We know we divided correctly here. And then 86 divided by 5. Now, 8 divided by 5, that's 1. 1 times 5, 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. Bring down the 6. 36 divided by 5. We could do that 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. 36 minus 35 is 1. The remainder is 1. Alright, let's check that by multiplying 17 times 5. 7 times 5, 35. I regroup. 5 times 1, 5 plus 3, 8. And then add in your remainder of 1. 85 plus 1 is 86. Matches our first number. We know we divided correctly there. Okay. So let's say we had a class, a third grade class that had 93 students in it, and we wanted to mix those students up into groups of 4. Well, we could make 23 full groups, and then we would have 1 student left over that we would probably have to add to another group. Okay? We don't have that many students here, but if we were a school that was a lot bigger, or we mixed a few grades together, we could get to a real life problem where we would need to use that. This will wrap up our video on dividing with remainders. Good luck on your homework. We'll see you on the next video.